On December 22, just days before Christmas, a quiet Florida neighborhood became the scene of a devastating family tragedy. What started as a routine evening inside a home in Polk County ended with a woman dead, a child fighting for her life, and a man taking his own life hours later. This is the case of Jason Kenney, a domestic violence incident that unfolded rapidly, violently, and left lasting trauma behind. Jason Kenney was 47 years old. He lived with his wife Crystal Kenney, her children from a previous relationship, and their one-year-old baby. By all outward appearances, this was a blended family trying to make life work, the kind of household found in countless American neighborhoods. But according to investigators, tension had been building inside the home. On the night of December 22, 2025, the family was watching television. An argument broke out, reportedly over a football game, a detail that seems small, almost meaningless, compared to what followed. What authorities believe happened next would shatter this family forever. During the argument, Jason Kenney allegedly retrieved a firearm. Inside the home, he shot his wife, Crystal, killing her. He then shot his 13-year-old stepdaughter, striking her multiple times. Despite her injuries, including gunshot wounds to the shoulder and face, the teenager survived. In a moment that law enforcement later described as extraordinary, her 12-year-old son had ran to a neighbor's house for help. That neighbor immediately called 911. Inside the home, investigators later found the family's one-year-old baby asleep in a crib, completely unharmed, a haunting contrast to the violence that had just taken place. Deputies arrived quickly. They found Crystal Kenney deceased inside the home. The injured teenager was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but Jason Kenney was already gone. According to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, after the shooting, Kenney fled the scene in a vehicle. Before disappearing, he reportedly called a family member and made a chilling statement, admitting he had done something terrible and saying he wasn't going to jail. Law enforcement immediately launched a manhunt. Deputies tracked Jason Kenney to a property that once belonged to his late father. When officers arrived, they found him inside a shed. As deputies attempted to take him into custody, Jason Kenney shot himself, dying at the scene. The case was officially classified as a murder-suicide. In the span of just a few hours, a family had been destroyed. The 13-year-old stepdaughter survived what law enforcement called a miracle. She was hospitalized in critical but stable condition. Beyond the physical injuries, experts emphasize the long-term psychological trauma survivors of domestic violence endure, especially children who witness or survive violent acts inside their own home. Authorities have not released her name to protect her privacy. The one-year-old child, too young to understand what happened, was placed into the care of family members. Cases like this raise difficult but necessary questions. Domestic violence often escalates behind closed doors, unseen by neighbors, coworkers, or even extended family. Arguments that seem minor on the surface can become deadly when firearms are present and emotions spiral out of control. Law enforcement officials stress that domestic disputes involving weapons are among the most dangerous situations officers respond to, and among the most unpredictable. This tragedy unfolded just days before Christmas, a time often associated with family, peace, and togetherness, making the violence even more jarring. 2 lives were lost, 3 children were left forever changed, and a moment of unchecked rage ended a family. If there is one lesson from the Jason Kenney case, it is this: domestic violence doesn't always announce itself, but when it escalates, the consequences are irreversible. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. For more crime cases that deserve attention, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. New uploads every week.